Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that.
Get lost!
Here I come! I'll tear you apart!
Lightning orb!
You're finished!
Power of water!
Sever
If they
it!
rush you,
You're
you gotta
mine!
jump for cover, okay? It's go time! Raging cascade!
You're mine! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Do it! Up and at 'em, let's go!
Quite necessary when creating weaponry.
No backing down! Win!
Anything normal is all mine.
You're mine! It's
Go!
over!
Here, light astral...
Talon Destruction!
Bloody evil! Now I'm in the groove.
Light astral energy, dance in the wind!
I'll stop its charge.
Thanks, Kisara!
You made quick work of it.
Want me to pick up your slack then?
Just pointing it out.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more
Do
power.
it! Cut them apart!
Win!
More for the stop!
Don't get complacent.
What's this thing?
Maybe something's going on in the forest. Out of our way!
Destruction!
This one's mine!
Here I come!
Lightning condemned!
Come one, come all! Win! Here I come!
Now or never.
Here I come!
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Lunarongo!
Flat! Raging cascade! Lightning! Seal!
Win!
Do it!
Did you see?
Sure did. The part where you swung and missed, right?
Not that part!
A fish.
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond, and it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Renin eyes.
Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble.
I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod.
You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done.
Wouldn't it be easier to simply use astral arts to catch the fish and be done with it?
That misses the whole point of going out to fish. Ha!
There we go.
Looks like I hooked a pretty rare fish.
I see you've gotten even better at this.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins.
Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us. Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job. No need to thank me.
Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I'd... This looks perfect. Guaranteed to hit the spot.
Mind if I join you, Law?
Oh, hey, Alphen. What's up?
Nothing. I was just surprised to see you weren't training for once. Got a stomachache or something?
You know I don't literally train around the clock, right? I do take breaks.
Do you? It seems like you're training every chance you get.
Well, yeah, it can't be helped if I want to get stronger. Still, it's important to let your muscles rest every now and then. That's what my dad told me anyway.
Zephyr said that?
When I was a little kid, yeah. I would get so excited whenever he came home. I always followed him wherever he went and tried to learn as much from him as I could. He said, it's good to be passionate, but don't overdo it. Just like there are times when you want to take a break from studying, sometimes your body wants to take a break from training too. I was always rushing around and forgetting to rest, so he ended up telling me that a lot.
That definitely sounds like him.
It's nothing to get sad over. Still, I can't help but wonder if that was my dad's way of teaching me the dangers of rushing into things too quickly. Then again, maybe I'm just overthinking things. I wish I'd had more time to talk to him about this kind of stuff. See you guys tomorrow. You guys ready to hit the road? I know I am.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Look! It's all the owls we found. I guess this was their way of thanking us for finding them.
It looks like they're grouping up by color. Is that a thing?
Actually, the color of Dan and Owl's feathers is based on their maturity and their astral energy element. So maybe they stick to certain groups even if they all belong to the same kingdom.
Then I guess that means we can tell just how many owls we found in each domain.
They seem to be saying something.
Maybe they're thanking us for finding their buddies. Then again, maybe they're telling us that we have more owls to find.
I think the Queen is protesting that they shouldn't put undue pressure on us.
Maybe he's arguing back that we're the only ones they can actually turn to?
Right. Which is why the Queen is worried about sowing any ill will with us.
We'll do our best, so don't worry, I think.
Can you understand them?
Of course not, I'm just inferring. For some reason, when I hear them talk, that's just what I imagine them saying.
Oh, well, I think you're pretty close to the mark at least.
Well, don't worry about it. We're not breaking our backs over this. I think that was a thank you.
Seems like it, from both of them.
Hoodle seems happy with this. Isn't that nice, Rinwell?
Huh? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
Something feels odd. But he... Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danan slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman. And this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request. But that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
Brace yourselves! This one's tough! Rising focus! It's over! Burn!
Airborne beast. My special.
Severing wind!
Here
I come!
I'll smash you!
It's over!
Here I go. You're mine.
I'll
tear you apart.
Severing wind!
Now! Demon's descent! Flashing fang! Easy!
Way to go!
Rising falcon! Here! You're finished!
I never miss!
Rising wyvern! No escape! Rising falcon! It's on! Take this!
Well, someone seems in tip-top form.
Nothing new about that.
Now! We won that by a mile.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart. If he slows down, that's our chance.
It's like trying to keep up with a wall.
Can't get out of this. First strike.
Here I go. Let's go.
It's time. Rising focus.
In a bind?
Raging
Double
storm.
demon fang.
Raging.
Take this!
Go get him!
You're mine! It's okay!
Thunderblade! Lightning!
Severing wind!
That
freaking
does it! Searing
Rising
flame!
Good
Here's
to be
Raging
seen!
Cascade! Freeze now!
First strike!
Get on in there with the
This!
others!
Talon Hurricane! Severing wind!
I'll crush you!
Lightning reflexes!
Tenebrous Claw! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Get in the way!
Not a chance!
Here!
Dragon Shield!
I'm out! Too much to
Dragon
handle!
Sonic Strike!
Lightning energy! Lightning!
Hurricane!
You require
Run you through! You're ours! You're mine! Follow me! In an instant! Impact block!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course.
I sense a strange power from this.
We can really make weapons with this?
Visibility along this path will remain limited. For some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Bullets don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
Get out of this!
Try this on for size!
Be still!
Hey, when did I get so
Denied!
Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
You make quick work of them.
Want me to pick up your slack then?
Just pointing it out.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart for your heart's content.
Dragon Form!
Get on in there
It's
with
turtle
the
down! Hurricane! time to let it
Leave the
rip.
enemy's arcs to me.
Milk is place here!
Now or never.
Now,
I'm on it.
here's
Double
the
move.
astral energy.
Say no more. Got
Here's a
it.
hero done.
Here I come.
Now, in the groove!
Rise and hit.
I never miss.
Take this. Megasonic thrust.
Here I go.
Totally. In an instant. Impact thrust. My turn. Lunar Rondo.
Prepare to be sealed, O fleet of foot. Actually, perhaps sound is more appropriate.
Let's copy more doom.
I'm even stronger than before.
Brace yourselves. This one's tough. Not today. Double demon
I'm
fang.
not so good with airborne targets.
Eternal devastation.
Sleep now.
Here I
This will come in handy.
Got fire.
I've got this. Let a marksman handle. Sleep now.
All yours. Destroy this.
Think on it. Do it. Astral energy.
Say no more. Got it.
Well done.
You're mine.
My watch. Do it. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished. Now.
Hit.
You're finished. Lunar Rondo. Rising Delegate. Totally. In an instant. Impact Thrust. I can feel my power growing.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah.
I've got a really bad feeling about this.
I'm surrounded!
Mine.
Win.
Raging storm!
You picked the wrong fight. You're mine.
Sleep now. Do it!
Freak! Why can't they just sit still?
Sia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done.
We got the advantage.
Good. Just have to make sure we keep it.
Don't worry, cause Raw's on.
Sleep now.
Rising Falcon.
Now you see what I can do.
Ready.
Here I
You know
come.
like I do.
Summer Wind.
Getting started.
Dragon Swarm.
Do it.
Take down.
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that
My
vein.
turn.
Something you wanted to say?
No complaints from me.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Where are you going?
Take it. Rising Falcon.
Glacial Spear. Fierce Evil.
Take this!
You'll soon see about that.
No further. Summer Wind. You're mine. Okay. Here I go. Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Now you see what I can do!
You're mine.
You are in tip-top shape.
As soon as I'm done here, come help out.
How could a girl ever say no?
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
Strike. Here. First strike. It's on.
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
one's tough! Eat dirt!
Tempest Whirl!
Pierce!
Puddle!
Severing wind!
Where are you going?
Here I come!
I'm like
It's
bait
okay.
jam.
This!
Glacial Spear!
Severe.
Here's the evil! Far enough!
Wind!
You should have messed with me. Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah!
And pummel
No
to me.
further!
Feel!
Strike!
Oh,
Wind!
baby!
now.
Rapid tear! Tempest!
Swallow! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Eat this!
Glacial Spear! Here's the evil! Let's go! Great Lancer!
Watch this!
Feel!
Take this!
Get on in there with the others!
No escape!
Healing Arm!
Armor won't save you!
Now see that you don't get in trouble again.
Do it!
Astral Energy!
Say no more! Shot!
Well done!
Burn in hell!
Here goes!
We did it!
These little ones are hardly worth
Neon!
our...
Astral Energy! Full throttle! With this, I can become even stronger.
And thus our strength yet grows.
More Dan and Moons here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe... Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Take this!
Here's the evil!
It's over!
I'm ready! Ready down! Here!
You're mine! It's over!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Can't get out of this!
I'll heal
I'm
you
not
all!
done.
Lightning orb! A banana! Let's do it!
Double demon fang!
Do they not teach you to say thank you in Dana? Not to your Ren and
I
Lee.
see on nuts!
Get out of my sight line or you'll get hit!
Right, sorry, thanks! Now I'm in the groove!
Not today!
Do it! Eagle Fire! Sleep Neon! Astral Energy! Full throttle!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
I sure have built up a sweat with this hike.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So, Mahag Sarst? Just up ahead, then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
What's this place here? Some kind...
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Take this! Take this! Severing wind!
Now you see what I... Now
Here
I'm
I
in the
come!
groove!
It's over! Here! Work out!
Rip and tear!
Take this!
Glacial Spear! Freeze Lancer!
Watch it! These fists have got your name on them!
Gale Force!
You're mine!
Dance in the wind!
Where are you going?
You're mine!
We're thinning them out.
We? More like me.
I'll admit I'm impressed. Very steady.
Eagle Fire!
Megasonic thrust!
I'm just getting
Severing wind!
started! Tectonic
Crush!
Crush!
Take this!
Raging Flame!
Double demon fang!
I'm on
Not today!
I'll run you through!
Do it! Quiver Flex! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
man. I hope I live long enough to regret this. I can carve through armor!
You're finished!
Eat them! I'll bring you through! Talon Storm! Talon Hurricane! Dragon Force! Come on, a roll now! Take this!
You're finished!
Rolling Fist!
Severing Wind!
This one's mine!
Try him out!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
Here we go again!
Dragon Sonic
You like me?
Severing Wind! Here I come! This time! Rising Walker! Not today!
I'm sorry to be bothered.
We've all got enough.
Yes, ma'am.
Not in your dreams! Freeze laser!
Destruction! First strike!
Whoa! Quit staring and concentrate on the fight. I don't take orders from you.
Run you through!
Now!
Armor won't save you!
Sion, astral energy! Full throttle! Certainly not bad. No complaints here.
Bad feeling about this.
You're mine!
I'm ready!
Double Demon Fang!
Where are you going?
Severing Wind!
Ready to go!
It's too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
You're finished!
I'll finish you here and now!
Sleep now! Healing circle!
This is looking good! Escape!
Now!
Win!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Monster! I'm on it! Dragon Force!
Do it!
I owe you one!
Demons descend! Flashing Fang! I'm even stronger than before.
This won't be easy. Don't be such a
I'll take you all on!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Don't mind if I do.
You're mine!
Storm!
Lunar Rondo!
Banana, let's go!
You're mine!
Get you! I'm on it!
Megasonic Thrust!
I'm on it! You're done! Talon Hurricane!
Not today!
Glimmer Dragon!
Eternal Devastation!
One at a time. I'm on a roll.
No escape!
You're most comfortable at a range, aren't you?
I'm not really built for close quarters combat.
Nor am I. Don't worry, I'll help you keep a light touch.
This one's mine. More where that came from.
You're mine!
Here.
Lunar Rondo!
Will this help?
Lunar Rondo!
Felt fine not too long ago.
Damn, you beat me to it.
Gotta be quick, or I'll take them all myself.
Oh, like hell you will.
Art expert coming through. By the power
You're
of
finished!
Force. Can't be
Win! Take this!
One at a time. Ready and ready.
Take this!
Raging sword.
Do it!
This ends now.
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that vein.
Now you see what I can do!
My lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Severing
Do
Wind!
it!
How much longer will our healing arts last?
I found some equipment.
Let me take a look at it.
Through these lands most verdant green, my eyes alight for sights unseen. In Menancia, pure and pristine.
What is it you see exactly?
That's not for me to say.
We finally made it.
We did a lot today, didn't we, Hoodle?
Good night, everyone. I think we've rested long enough. Let's keep moving. Guess I misread the landing.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I'm not done! Try harder! Not today!
Dance in the wind!
Take this! It's over! Shattering wind! You're mine! Let's turn up!
Pesky airborne scoundrels!
Sounds like a job for yours truly. You're mine.
Damn it!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Now! Astral energy!
Say no more! I can feel my power growing! It's over!
Don't mind if I do!
I'm surrounded! Try this on for size!
Take this! Lunar Rondo!
Thunder! One more time!
got fire!
I've got this! Let him march me! That's my cue!
All yours! Shut him down!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'm just getting started! I can carve through armor!
Here I come! This one's
You
all mine!
do it!
Here goes!
What's with how?
Demons descend! Flashing fang! Easy!
Way to go! Healing arc!
I'm on
now.
talent!
Take this!
Hey!
Stockpile!
Rip and tear!
Ignite!
Do it! Raging lightning!
Look sharp!
Lightning tiger blade!
My turn! Luna Rondo!
I'm on it!
Tempest Force! Here goes! Not on my watch!
Win! Luna Rondo! Stunner!
Now! Only getting started! Light
Rip and tear!
You're
Only
mine!
getting started! Lost!
Demons descend! Flashing fang!
The astral energy is surging around me.
How do you even know about all that astrally stuff?
Same way I know what you do in the middle of the night.
What? Are you serious?
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldaman and Sia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along, but it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes. I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag-Sar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already! I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me? Why?
He's tough.
Who are you? Said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you?
Can't be. Here. That freaking does it. I never miss.
I'm on!
Take this!
Here we go!
Take
this!
Enjoy.
Light astral
Here I
energy.
come! Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
Speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord?
Die.
Severing blade! Take this! Burn in hell!
All right.
I
You got it! Now's our chance!
I'm sorry to be a bother.
We've all got enough on our plate.
Yes, ma'am.
Far enough!
Here, First aid!
Take this.
Can only rely on
Air Here's healing circle!
Why'd you heal me?
Just not me dying?
Right.
Rise and run! Breathe,
That trick was such a failure.
Whoa! Hey, one at a time! Where are you going?
Here.
I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
Rising
I'll bring you
Falcon!
back from death's lightning orb! I'll bring you back from death's abyss!
This.
Severing Wing!
Radiant! Here! I'll heal you all! Heal! I'll be laser dragon show!
I really owe you one.
Did you just heal me?
Yes. I need you, remember?
I'm out of ammo! This wall! More dragon show!
Entertain me.
Swallow detonation! Aiming for time
Take this.
Dash in the wind! I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Don't mind if I do! I'll bring you back from...
Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion, wake up, please!
Elfin?
Shion!
Thanks, but you're kinda crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought
I'm
you were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides, Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alphen?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine, really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Danon astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Niez, the capital of Mahag Sar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest.
Hey.
How are you holding up after that last fight? You're not too hurt, are you?
I'm fine, really. See for yourself.
If things get too tough out there, go ahead and fall back. I can take a beating if I need to.
I'm not here just to stand around and have everyone protect me.
I get that, but there's nothing wrong with admitting you have weaknesses too.
Do I look like I'm just trying to put on a brave face to you?
I can't feel pain. But you still can, can't you?
Look, I appreciate you're trying to look out for me, but even you go down in fights from time to time. Please, stop trying to babysit me. It's getting old.
It's not that. I just...
Are we in the right place? This place looks like a mess.
Yes, this is Niez, the capital of Mahag Sar.
I don't see any signs of people. And the buildings.
Yeah, this doesn't seem like the kind of place people would actually live.
No soldiers, no Danons, not a soul to be seen. Yet look at these facades. This is clearly a Renan district.
Hey, check out that drawing on the castle gate. That's the Darkwing's crest. It's from an old Danon legend about a hero who defeated an evil king with a torch and their trusty owl. That's his crest. I'm sure of it.
Really? First time I'm hearing it. So if someone drew it on the gate...
It must mean the Renans have lost control of the city.
Are you suggesting the Danans rose up and defeated the Lord here? Hard to believe, but not entirely unthinkable, given the evidence.
Let's look around and see if we can find someone. They might be able to tell us what happened. This is horrible.
Is there truly no... one...
All of these ruins look like they were made pretty recently.
But if that's the case, then where do you think the people that used to live here went off to? There must have been Danans and Renans, right?
That's a good question. Even if the Danans rebelled and managed to overthrow the Renans here, there should still be some people around.
This debris... Do you think it could be the work of Renan astral arts?
Perhaps, but the appearance of these ruins is rather uniform, which leads me to believe otherwise.
Hey, Rinwell. That story you told us about the Dark Wings, it said that the evil king was vanquished with a holy flame, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then there might be some truth to that old story after all. It looks like all the rubble here had been scarred by flames.
Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet. If we can find someone around here, we might be able to get them to tell us what happened. Dohalim, you forgot to take care of the fire yesterday.
What do you mean, take care of? Ah, yes. You meant to put it out?
Yep. If it stays lit, we could end up in real trouble real fast.
I see. I apologize for not realizing that. I shall be more careful in the future.
The way he's talking, it's like the thought of putting it out himself never even occurred to him.
Moving on, Dohalim, I should mention that the clasp for your cape is about to come undone.
Oh yes, I tried to fix that myself, but it simply refused to cooperate with me.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. Are you telling me Renans can't even dress themselves?
Lords like Dohalim have attendants that take care of just about everything they need, so I'm not surprised he sometimes struggles with the basics.
Even by those standards, you've got to admit this is still a little extreme.
Shionna's got a point. I mean, you don't see Renans like her needing so much help to get stuff done.
In my case, circumstances forced me to learn how to be independent. Even so, I still think Dohalim could afford to pick up a few more self-sufficient skills.
Well, specifically speaking, what would you suggest that I learn?
For starters, I think it'd be good for you to learn how to dress. And put on shoes. How to comb your hair is equally important. And learning to manage your possessions better. And then from there...
She sounds like his mom rattling all that off.
Oh, and another thing. About your owl, Rinwell.
What is it?
When he starts to molt, would you be willing to give me his old feathers? I think I could find a use for them.
What do you intend to do with those?
Well, recently, I haven't been sleeping well. However, I hear pillows made from owl feathers are very comfortable and wish to make one.
This is why I hate you, Renans!
Did I say something offensive?
Next time, put your own needs aside for a second and think about how someone might react first. Then consider if it's worth asking at all.
We've reached our destination.
What's that big tower over there?
Judging by the stench, I'd say the animals at the ranch are all grown now.
Better get everything ready for tomorrow. Dohalim, your spare bracers were getting dirty, so I polished them up along with the rest of your equipment.
Why, thank you, Kisara. I greatly appreciate that.
Maybe it's just my imagination, but you sure seem to fuss over Dohalim a whole lot, Kisara.
It is a little strange. Almost like you're still in his service.
Really? That's certainly not my intention. Besides, he's not the only one I'm like that with. Hey, Law, I saw your clothes were starting to get holes in them, so I stitched them back up for you.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Kisara.
Point taken. Do you just like looking after people?
I wouldn't go so far as to say I like it, but I get anxious if I don't. I'd always like to help if I can. It comes naturally to me. Back in the day, Miguel and I used to look after the younger kids a lot, so that's probably where it comes from. He taught me everything I know. And I mean everything. How to cook with wild plants, how to sew clothes so they'll last. Without him, we never would have been able to survive.
However, you're not a lord anymore, Dohalim. You need to get used to the idea that people aren't just going to wait on you hand and foot.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm ashamed to admit that I felt no qualms about her doing all that for me. As both a Renan and especially as a lord, one becomes too accustomed to those beneath you tending to your every need, both Renans and Danans alike.
Sure, that's how all you Renans are probably raised. But just to be clear, we're not your servants, Dohalim. Got that?
Absolutely. Moments such as this provide me with ample opportunity to confront my unease. It is difficult to tend with my own motivations.
What do you mean?
The truth of the matter is that my espousal of coexistence in Menancia hardly came from an idealistic place. That instinctive unease I feel deep within serves as a reminder for what it is that all of us here fight for.
Don't be so hard on yourself. No one's going to abandon you if you aren't always perfect.
Looking at her now, I think she's more like his mom than his servant.
Hey, Rinwell. What was that whole legend you were talking about earlier, back when we were by the gate?
Huh? Oh, you mean about the Darkwings? It's an old story about a Danon hero that's been passed down for generations.
Like I said, I sure haven't heard it before.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, long ago, there was an evil king who tried to bring all of Dana to ruin. However, a pure black owl heard the pleas of the people and decided to help. It chose a young hero and bestowed upon them a holy flame that was capable of vanquishing the king. The story goes that the young hero challenged the king and defeated them with the flame. Seeing Dana had been saved, the people flew the crest of the Darkwings as thanks to the owl for its help. From what I understand, it used to be a really well-known story before the Renans came.
I guess our people must have forgotten it over time. It's lucky for us you still know it. You sure are well-versed in these sorts of things, Rinwell.
You know, the part where the hero defeats the king with a flame reminds me a little of Alphen.
Come on, it's just a story. Besides, if we're talking about an owl helping anyone, Hoodle would definitely choose Rinwell.
Sure, I might have helped take out our own kind of evil king with the others, but I'm definitely no hero. That and Hoodle's wings aren't even black. Huh.
This should definitely keep you guys full.
So, Halim, care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself. When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way. We'd best get ready for tomorrow. Shall we get moving?
Not this way, I guess.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster. Do you sense one of your friends, Hootle?